What up, peeps? It's Reana now,
back for another fun-filled YouTube video. Yeah.
We are not doctors, so we are not telling you what to do.
No.
We are just, however, recapping what we did. Today, we're going to tell you about why we stopped the October Whole30 1 week early.
What?
It's true.
We did.
We did. All because of her. And we started it all because of me. So she had to quit because I had to start because she didn't want to do it in the first place. What?
Long story short.
Well, we should talk about why we did the October Whole30. Because someone asked us to do it with them. And we wanted to support them. And we also love doing the Whole30. We did it 3 times already in 2020. And we know how to do it. I didn't have any problems.
It's like second nature. It's like we live like that most of the time anyway.
Right. So we were like, we had a week to think about it before October started. So I didn't say yes right away. I talked about it with you because we're a unit. Alex did not want to do it in the beginning. And I wanted to do it. I like having restrictions and following some sort of plan because it helps me not eat things, whereas Alex likes
to have food freedom. Where you just do what works for you and what you like all the time, and there's no restrictions because for a lot of people, myself included, when you have restrictions, is like right at the end of when you lift a restriction, it's like a rubber band, and it's like, and then you just kind of like go off the deep end. Now, I'll say that I haven't felt like that in a while. Like, that's kind of how I used to be, like, back, like, when I first started, like, dieting or losing weight or whatever, and through, like, high school and college and whatever, and so, but whatever, and, like, that's always still, like, a thought, is, like, okay, well, if I have all these restrictions, then like, when I come off the restrictions, I'm just going to, like, fly off the deep end. So, that hasn't happened, I mean, since we've done any of our Whole30s, which is great. That's growth. But still, it's just something to be mindful of, and it's something that a lot of people also struggle with. But that is a real thing, of the like, not wanting to live with restriction all the time, because then, you can just it can kind of cause you to spiral out of control, after.
The peanut butter jar is literally in the frame. I didn't hear what you said.
So I felt like we were in a really good spot with not having to have any restrictions on us, and that we were just in a really good spot of, like, eating foods that were fueling us and eating healthy, nutritious foods and staying away from processed foods, and obviously we weren't eating meat at the time, so I was like, man, like, we're in a really good spot. Like, there's no reason to implement any restrictions.
But then, when this idea came into play, then you were like, whoa, like, stop, like, we don't need this. And I was like, yeah. Fast forward 1 week, and we start the October Whole30, just back to usual, with potatoes in hand, back to the kitchen. Yep. We were all over it, and we were on it. I mean, we crushed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine and dandy.
So,
good.
For this October Whole30, we really tried to share a lot more and tried to be more structured in what we were sharing with everyone. Mm-hmm. However, it became really hard because
we were, first of all, eating, like, the same thing, for several...
And also, we weren't eating enough.
Right.
That was another problem. Like, yeah. I was more tracking what we were eating so that I could share it with you guys, specifically, like, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I looked back and I said, we're not eating. I didn't eat enough that day, or, like, because we would
eat so many potatoes and then, like, nothing else.
Yeah, and then, like, the RX bar later in the day. And it was just a weird kind of cycle that we were going through, and weird, like,
but not like, I wouldn't say that we weren't eating enough, as in, like, one, like, because we, like, were trying to lose weight or anything like that.
No.
And also it wasn't like we weren't eating enough, like, we were, like,
hungry?
loopy.
Yeah.
And, like, hungry. Like, it wasn't, like, extreme like that at all.
It was just because we know how much we're working out that I would look back and say, like, wow, like,
yeah.
for what we're doing, like, we need to eat a little bit more.
Right. Which is not a problem caused by the Whole30 at all.
No,
that was just our own self-inflicted problem.
Yeah, so, like, because of, like, the things and the habits that we found that we were creating and, like, the loops that we were going through in the first 3 weeks of the October Whole30, I don't think we were happy with what we were doing. Because, like, where we saw it going, it was just not good, not healthy.
We didn't set ourselves up for success. I didn't have the greatest attitude going into it.
Yeah.
And so we just, like, weren't necessarily as prepared. And I think, too, is because we've done it so many times, is that we thought, like, oh, like, we don't need to prepare, like, we're fine, we're good.
Yeah.
And then we just ended up eating potatoes, cauli fried rice, and, like, an acai bowl, like, every single day. And it's like, those things are all so amazing and so good. And, like, yeah, I could eat them all every day. But then, like, at the end of, like, 3 weeks, it just, like, you're just like,
I think another thing, too, is that because we took out, the Whole30 really helped us take out things from our diet. Then we started playing around with, let's take out meat. And then probably, in October? Or a couple weeks before the October Whole30, we took out eggs from our diet. So then we didn't practice any, like, other types of recipes or food preparation
right
without eggs. I mean, like, I would eat an egg with
It's like, oh, you know what would be so good on this?
Oh,
a fried egg.
So good.
Gross.
You guys, you know.
Ugh.
Sweet potato.
No.
Egg.
First of all, I hate sweet potatoes. Second of all, I hate running eggs.
Dude, bread, egg. Anything, egg.
Nah. So anyway, yeah, like, our whole, like, mindset mentality wasn't necessarily, like, how it was for our previous 3 Whole30s, just because, like, I don't know, like, we had the food freedom, like, we didn't, not that we, like, felt like, oh, like, there's nothing left to learn, because there's something to learn every time you do a Whole30. For example, like, look at what we learned this time around. It's just a lot different. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it had to do with the fact that we did so many in such a short amount of time. You don't agree?
No, I'm just thinking the one we do one in August?
Yeah.
So we did
January, mid-January, April,
July.
August. July. Yeah, we did July. So we basically did, like, Whole30, 2 months off, Whole30, 2 months off, Whole30, 2 months off. So doing that, like, 4 times also is just, like...
So the reasoning why is because we felt in our minds and, I don't know, not necessarily in our bodies, like, we felt great, we felt the same. I just think in our minds we felt like we weren't there, we weren't in it, and we weren't happy or positive about that specific journey.
Yeah.
So what we learned is
it's okay.
You can change your mind.
You aren't stuck.
Yeah, you said you're going to do the Whole30 for October, but if it's not working, it's okay.
Yes. As long as you learn from it, or as long as you just aren't saying that you're going to do something and then not finishing it or quitting because it gets hard or because you just, like, you know, like, you had a weak moment or whatever.
But like, that's what I was just, why did you bring that up?
What do you mean?
Because
it's totally not.
And a weak moment mentally.
No, it's not. We just had this whole conversation about why.
That's what I'm saying. If it's, like, your first Whole30 and you're trying to make it through and you're just like, oh, it's too hard.
Right.
So, like, it doesn't
But it's not okay to just quit.
It doesn't relate.
It relates to us in this situation.
Point. How? Like,
we had this whole conversation.
You really, really, really want to touch on, like, it's okay to quit unless you're quitting something. Like, say your point. I want to hear.
Well, like, don't use it
Start
as
over.
it's like, don't quit just because, like,
I'm not belittling
like, there's
you.
a difference between, like, when people say like, oh, like I'm not gonna work out today, self-care, versus like, okay, like I'm like really tired, I need a rest day. Like using it as like an excuse. What? I don't understand how we have a YouTube channel together because we don't agree on anything.
Saying, I'm not going to work out today is hashtag self-care. And then, I'm not going to work out today because I'm super tired.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference in, like, saying...
Mentally.
In, like, in using, like, oh, I'm going to skip the gym today. Like, yeah, I'm going to take a rest day. But, like, if you do that, like, 3 times
Why are you making fun of people who do that? Who cares?
Oh, my God, I'm not.
Just like the point that you're trying to make and like how you're making it isn't correlating.
But like you're out here telling people that it's okay to just like not finish the Whole30.
It's okay to change your mind and change direction.
But like if you commit to doing something, like commit to yourself. We didn't commit to ourselves because we never committed from the beginning.
I did.
I didn't. So is that where we fell apart? This is a disaster.
It was going so well until about like 13 minutes in. Then we just had the same argument on the couch over there.
We did. There's a difference and it's a fine line. And I can't tell you what the fine line is for you.
This part doesn't even need to be in the video.
Stop.
None of this is relevant.
Stop. There's a fine line between quitting when something is hard and carrying on when something is hard. And the fine line is a very different line for everybody. And so I can't tell you when it's okay to quit something versus when you should keep going, but you need to make that decision for yourself. And maybe sometimes you'll get it wrong, but that's okay. Just learn and get it right. And that's okay. And like knowing that for us is knowing when we needed to quit and change direction instead of fighting through it. And that's something that you have to figure out for yourself. And that's the point that I'm trying to make.
But also, what about being open-minded to doing the Whole30 in the beginning? Ma'am.
Fine.
Like, she didn't even go into it positive or like wanting
because I didn't want to do it. That's fine.
But you didn't have to do it to begin with.
Are you kidding me?
I could have done it.
You forced me.
Myself.
Well.
So we had some conflicting ideas.
You know what?
We stopped the Whole30 early. We're quitters.
This video's done. We post videos frequently about health, nutrition, weight loss, sometimes the Whole30. I'm also doing my Mom Be Your project, so we've got tons of videos on that. Check out our channel. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram.
Ask us any questions. Let us know what you want to talk about, what you want to see from us.
Yeah.
We are only here to help you with experience from us.
And arguments from us.
We're here. We ain't going nowhere.
We love you. We're here to support you. We're here to help you figure out your fine line.
No, we ain't. You don't even know yours.
I know my fine line.
It's very vague. She quits easily.
Right.
Again, going nowhere.
That's all.
I'm Ree. We're back in action. This is Real Show.
This is the first time you've been on our YouTube channel in months. Welcome back.
I was on the last cooking one.
Where?
The Rocky Ride vlog.
Okay. Thank you. How long ago was that?
1 month.
Thank you. Bye!